year, didn't it? So
after that, not really. I suppose, look, I wish the guy good luck. I've got no ill will towards him. I just think it might be a bit of a... Well, who else is out there, really? That's the other question, though.
Yeah, because the NRL jobs took a couple of the good can, I suppose.
Took people out of that, didn't they? Yeah, and Tuvey is now our head coach officially. Spoilers.
Well, yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute, because who doesn't want to talk about the Bradford Bulls? But before that, Danny Washbrook, Fetuli Talanoa and Jordan Thompson have all signed new deals at Hull FC. Washbrook and Talanoa have signed one-year extensions with last season's Challenge Cup winners, while Thompson will stay for another 2 terms at the Super League side. It's good, sensible business, tying down some very impressive players.
Well, Washbrook's been important from his utility value and his sort of commitment to the club, and I'm guessing he's signed a club-friendly deal as well at the sort of stage of his career he's at and that sort of thing, to play another year in Super League. Talanoa, it was almost imperative that they signed him down with
Fanua leaving.
Fanua leaving, Michael's not necessarily being decided as the sure thing, and whether or and then it's young guys or new recruits you're looking at then in a way, and Thompson does a solid job, doesn't he?
There you go. Super League side, Warrington Wolves have signed Lesignan Sonlier centre Ben Pomeroy on a deal until the end of the season. 33-year-old Australian has been playing at the top level of French Rugby League after 2 seasons in the Super League with Catalan Dragons. He has also played in the NRL for Cronulla and Penrith. Welcome back to Super League, Dicks for Fingers.
I don't
know what question
that's what I was thinking
is the answer to.
The exact same thing, yeah.
Unless it's...
Who got sent off more times than he played in the last 2 months of his Super League career?
What would be the biggest panic buy we could make at this point? Ben Pomeroy. It'd probably be that's one answer.
Obviously, they've got a problem in that right centre position. Reece Evans
solving it.
Out for the year. Toby King doesn't seem to be fit to play. Or if he isn't, I don't know why he's not playing, because I think he's a wonderful young player. So they've needed to do something, and this was a player that was available, I guess, and will be fit because he's been playing and playing quite well. He was in one of the better sides, weren't they? They got through to the final, didn't they?
Yes, they did. So there you go, good luck to him. But staying with Warrington Wolves, they've also signed centre Peter Hiku from Penrith Panthers until November 2019. The 24-year-old New Zealand international has moved to Wye with immediate effect and is the second mid-season signing in the past week following the signing of Ben Pomeroy. Hiku started his career at Manly Sea Eagles and was in his second season with Penrith. So what do you do when you buy one defensively prone player? You buy another.
It's a different kettle of fish, though. Peter Hiku has got recent international pedigree.
True.
He's not come on as people might have expected him to, say, 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But if he can get his attitude right, if he can see this as almost as a springboard to show NRL clubs what he could be capable of, and treat it as that, and go absolute full out to be the best he can be for Warrington next season, then that's the sort of way he needs his attitude. If he thinks, I can go here and I can get picked every week just on my New Zealand reputation, then I'm not sure it'll be a great signing, but he's got the potential to be a great signing, because he's got the potential to be a top.
Yes, he does. He does. It's just unrealised at the moment, isn't it, I suppose? And at 24, time is on his side for now, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, with Hiku, it's more how he approaches setbacks and whether he sees this as a setback in his career.
Well, good luck to him. Moving to Cheshire, Jordan Johnston has extended his contract with Widnes Vikings until the end of the 2019 season. The 20-year-old has been one of the Vikings' standout performers of this season. After making his Super League debut for Widnes in 2016, he's gone on to be almost ever present for them this year.
Offers some longevity in there in that hooking position, and a player who gives absolutely everything every time he plays, and is getting better at his sort of decision making, I think.
And it's almost a 2-year deal. It's 2017 now. It runs till 2017.
It is a 2-year deal, yeah.
It's essentially, he's got a witness.
He's got a witness.
There you go. Let's dredge that back up. Huddersfield have confirmed that utility back Jordan Rankin has signed from West Tigers on a deal to the end of the 2017 season. The 25-year-old had previously played in Super League for Hull between 2014 and 2015.
This is timely with Mamo picking up an injury on Friday night. I don't know how serious that might be. Probably not, but it's a ready-made replacement who's performed to a good standard at fullback in the Super League. Okay, in that Hull FC side a couple of years ago, it wasn't the greatest Hull FC side, but he was a player they weren't necessarily keen to see leave at that stage, and he offers plenty across the back positions at the Super League level. We've seen him do it. And
it's a solid sign.
And he's trying to, obviously looking at that length of deal, trying to earn himself more. So he'll be determined.
There you go. If I'd been Warrington, this is the player whose door I'd have been knocking on.
Ahead of Ben Pomeroy, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Wigan Warriors have been reprimanded and ordered to pay costs for postponing their Super League fixture against Widnes Vikings this February. Because of Storm Doris and Wigan Athletic were playing the day after, Wigan decided without consulting Widnes the game should be called off. However, the match was then switched to Widnes' home ground for the scheduled day, and Wigan won by 28 points to 26. The Cherry Whites have to pay £2,000 in costs for the RFL. An independent operational rules tribunal determined the Warriors breached operational rules and some of the league's code of conduct. The RFL has stated that they will set up a working party so the stadium sharing clubs, Wigan, Huddersfield, Hull FC, Salford Red Devils and Leeds Rhinos, can discuss the issues in relation to sharing a ground. Fair's fair, I'd say.
It would be nice if something good comes out of this, because Wigan have clearly shown an ineptitude in managing their ground sharing arrangement on a number of occasions in the past, which I would like to be resolved as a Wigan fan, because I find it frustrating and embarrassing. Everyone obviously thinks it should have been worse, we should have been kicked out of the competition or whatever, but we covered this in detail at the time. I think the reason why it's only a reprimand is the game did go ahead. Widnes had, and check the stats, the second highest attendance they've had at any home game this season. The only home game they had a higher attendance at was the match against Warrington at the Easter period. The cost of tickets for this game was the same as the cost of tickets for the same fixture last season. So they charged lower tickets last year. It was £10 again, the same price for me anyway. This year, and Wigan compensated the Widnes club at the time, and Widnes were very good and accommodating and getting the fixture sorted out, and they were unlucky to just fall short in the end against the Wigan team, riding the high of the World Club Challenge win, but not firing on all cylinders for much of this game. And if it wasn't for all that stuff that happened at the time in terms of compensating, which we don't know the exact details of, compensating Widnes, getting the game actually on, then I think the punishment would have and should have been more severe. But it's cost Wigan. This has cost Wigan. Hopefully something good comes out of it.
Just 5 months after Championship strugglers Bradford Bulls confirmed legendary NRL boss Jeff Tuvey would be their new coach, the Australian has finally been granted a visa to begin the daunting task of hauling the Bulls out of relegation trouble. The Bulls have been in limbo for months, waiting on a visa application for Tuvey, repeatedly saying the delay was due to be sorted. And with Bradford still on minus points, facing a race against time to avoid relegation to League One, Tuvey admits he's just pleased that he can begin work at long last. He told the Telegraph and Argos, I had planned to do a Jeff Tuvey voice, but I'm not going to, so I'm feeling pretty ropey. He told the Telegraph and Argos, it's not exactly a relief. I can't do it. It's not exactly a relief, but it's pleasing that it's out of the way now.
It's not exactly a relief.
Exactly.
I've not read the quote.
I think
I was really fucking hoping it'd fall through, but okay.
I think what he's
such is life.
Well, it looks like I'm fucking stuck here now, coaching fucking League One Rugby League.
Sorry, go on.
It's like putting Schumacher in a larder. Not Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, Jeff Tooby's enthusiasm. It's not exactly a relief, but it's pleasing that it's out of the way now. It's one less question that always gets answered or doesn't get answered. It was a procedural thing, and we had to do the right thing by the law. We've done that now, and we can crack on. It was frustrating knowing that it was going to happen, but having to go through the time process, which dragged on for a fair bit. And we're already seeing the results. We stayed within 30 points of Rochdale this weekend, so onwards and upwards.
So
nothing changes. He's been coaching nominally for the entire time that we've been playing this season. He's been there. He's involved. He's been coaching. Lee Beattie has been the mouthpiece essentially. He's done a cracking job in terms of being the face of it all and what have you. But
one of the questions we had at the very initial announcement of this was how would he manage players of a calibre that he's not used to dealing with. So that question mark is still definitely there.
Of course it is.
But now he'll have more hands-on, permanent day-to-day links with these people. Maybe he can do something. We shall see. But it's a big job. How many games are there left? Is there 4 or 5 regular season games left in the Championship?
Total, I think we're at about 12 games left or 11 games left now. No, Mark, we're getting relegated. It's pretty simple. We don't need to worry about how many games there are left. We are going to be relegated. It will not. We're essentially 11 points off safety with about 22, 24 to play for. So it's just not going to happen. We're going to be relegated. So
okay,
there you go. That's it. Sorry to be so unenthusiastic and.
Let's move on to the next news story.
Yeah, we are. Okay, Featherstone Rovers have tied down the services of star forward John Davies for the next 2 years. The former Castleford, Batley and Sheffield star has been in superb form this year after also impressing in his maiden season with the club last year. He has now signed a new contract that will keep him at the club until 2019, and the 26-year-old believes that there are good times ahead. Decent piece of business. I like the way Fev go about things. They were a club on the brink a while ago, and they seem to be pretty stable these days.
Yeah, and John Davies is one of those sort of hard-working types that the fans really respect a lot.
Yeah, that's it. Richard Horne, the former Hull FC and Great Britain player, has been named the new head coach of Doncaster. The 34-year-old will take on the role after Gary Thornton was removed from his post last month. Horne retired in 2014 after a 17-year career with Hull FC, has been one of Lee Radford's assistant coaches at the Challenge Cup holders since calling time on his playing days.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of work with a young, the sort of under-23 reserve side, hasn't he? Mainly at Hull. Yeah. So I think that gives him a good grounding to come in at this level, this League One level, and also he'll have connections with the whole club. Like Doncaster already have a link there, and there's people like Palliacina already around Doncaster, isn't there, and stuff. Yeah. But strengthening those links with Doncaster is probably a good thing because they will rely heavily on the loan and dual reg market, you would think, to boost their talent pool. But he was a decent player and got a lot of experience, a lot to offer. So I think it's a hopeful signing. I think good might come of it. I mean, I'm sure Ethan probably has more of a rounded view on this sort of thing, but. I hope it goes well because I always want to see a young English coach do well, especially one who's willing to drop down from Super League level in terms of the club he was at to the bottom rung.
Essentially.
And I think he's doing that in the right way with a couple of years as an assistant doing reserve grade stuff and then dropping down to League One from the Super League and hopefully working his way up and building a bit of experience and career there. So I hope it doesn't go too bad for him.
There you go, fair play. Hunslet have confirmed prop forward Matt Nicholson, halfback Sean Roberts and trialist Niall Walker have all signed contracts with the club until the end of this season. Nicholson is a former Leeds Rhinos junior and has also had spells at York City Knights, Fev and Doncaster. Roberts was recently on trial at York and previously played at Sheffield for 3 years, whilst Walker scored a try as a trialist on his debut in the defeat at Oxford before sustaining a knee injury and is currently undergoing rehabilitation. So good luck to those three plying their trade at Hunslet.
Yeah.
Sydney Roosters have sacked New Zealand international Sean Kenny Dowell, the 29-year-old, was stood down last week after being charged for cocaine possession last month, resulting in the Roosters terminating his contract. In the 10 years since making his debut for the club, he's played 224 times and featured in both the 2010 and 2013 grand finals. Room for him at a Super League club?
Well, not now. Warrington have signed every other centre / outside back on the market. Maybe a Catalan gig next year.
Possibly.
I don't know, but
possibly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that there's any ban associated with it. It was a possession offence, not an aside.